You know, I can go over about who 87546 is, but I could summarize him as this. A nameless jobber that was once on Sodor and was sent away along with his friend 98462 due to him being a bit of a pain. Now, just like with 98462, there was a lot of misconceptions with him in the Railway series, from his name to his bases. So today, I'll be going over these and debunking them one by one. I don't think I need to make it more clear than I ever have to be. Awdry never said what their names were. All he ever wrote back to Ross was that 87546 and 98462 were root engines that were on Sodor, but was sent away sometime after. And despite the flaws with the Wikipedia, it's very clear that Awdry never gave them names and only numbers. Not to mention, the name Croven and Reggaby were alternate interpretations by Thomas I, Edward II, Henry III, and the Demon of Nowhere. Since these two are fan creators, this means that their interpretations are purely their own fan takes, and not the official take of 87546 within the Railway series. So, people claim that 87546 is an LNER B17. The LNER B17 is the design that was made in 1928, and 87546 is there in 1923 in Edward's layout. What the f***, bro? Are you f***ing joking me? 87546 is claimed to be a B17, yet he is there in 1923, but the B17s were built until like 1928? Like what the f***? And him being the prototype doesn't even work, because that would mean he'll be built like 2 or 1 year before 1928. For has no respect of headcanons. You seem to be mad at the idea of it. Shut the f*** up, you. I don't respect headcanons that retcon real life just so they can justify a fictional thing. You also forget that when people make 87546 as a B17, they forget one important factor. The reason why the B17s were even built in the first place by the LNER in 1928 was because by that time, the LNER B12s can no longer handle the express work on one of the LNER's main lines, as they were worn out. And I'm sorry, retconning real life just so to justify a fictional thing about a fictional character, that is very concerning, and I consider that very disrespectful from a personal point of view. Because if you can retcon something in a real life event, in a real life setting, then it proves you can retcon real life in fiction. And besides, if you're gonna say you're not gonna abide by real life rules, then maybe you don't mention the B17s at all, because the TV show didn't bother to mention any of the characters' bases, so why should you? You could say I'm taking this too much to heart, and you're not wrong, since I care about history. Because Awdry has his books set in a real life setting, I believe that there has to be some kind of logic when it comes down to it. Because where there is a franchise or a universe, there are rules to abide by. And whether we like her or not, this franchise and the books have history in it. Alright, I think I spoke about my mind enough for now. I guess it's time to get on to the final point. Even though I think people were wrong for having 87546 as a B17 built way earlier than he should be, to be honest, I wouldn't say I'm right as well in some areas. Like, yeah, I'm right that 87546 cannot be a B17 because, you know, they were built in 1928 and he's there in 1923. However, I am wrong for not respecting other people's interpretations when they have 87546 as a B17, and to be honest, I can't help it that way. I'm okay if they do their own fictional thing, but when they retcon real life, that is where I cannot respect it at all. What I feel like would have been better if they just chosen a basis that just fits well in the time period, like 1923, 875 could be a B4, K class, doesn't matter. Just anything other than the B17, because that wouldn't work. So really, all I can do is just rant about it and just move on. That's all I can do. Now that I'm done with ranting, what are your guys' thoughts on this? Was I right for criticizing this idea, or was I wrong for doing so? Let me know what you think. Anyways, signing out.